All right, fam, a couple days have passed. Let me show you what kind of progress we made. Wow, look at that. The downpipe is done, it's fully welded up. I know it's dark and you can't see, but I'll show it to you when we pull it back out. And we are about to pull it back out because now we're down to the portion where we are ready to make this join up to the exhaust manifold. This is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about having the gate here. So I got to get a pipe that makes in between the two of those. And then on the outlet, it's gonna look just like that. It's gonna be the gate, it's gonna be a bellow, and it's gonna be a 90 going right back into this bottom flat section of the downpipe. So let's go ahead and take all this stuff off. I can't get to them back turbine housing bolts, so I think I'm gonna have to modify this 1/2 inch. I think I'm either gonna have to bend it or cut it in half to make it work. All right, fam, a little glimpse into what's going on. For one, I told y'all I was gonna show you the downpipe. That's what we got so far. And then I got everything off so that I can have better access to manipulate the wastegate and the placement basically in this general area. So I've already cleaned all these pies up. I'm probably gonna go ahead and hit them one more time with acetone after washing them with Dawn soap. Those will be ready to be tacked and welded onto this bellow. And then we come over here to some of this Schedule 40 stuff, the super thick stuff. As you notice in that kit, it came kind of with an extra spool piece. And if you look at that spool piece, it's got like a semi-bevel on it. Since I cut these pies from a straight piece, you know, when you butt them up together, it's a sharp edge. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can put the same angle on all of these. And then after that, we can start tacking some of this stuff up. Since I kind of know how the outlet on the tile gate, basically the orientation is going to go, I'm gonna go ahead and start tacking some more of this stuff together, maybe even go ahead and welding it. So now I'm at the point where I want to weld this outlet of this flange to this bellow. Remember that bellow was a little bit bigger, actually way a lot bigger than the daggone flange. So I added a spool piece in between so it can make the transition a little bit smoother looking. And it also went a step further and I beveled this lip a little bit since this side is still just a tad big compared to this flange. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and match that up and then we can go ahead and tack it into place. All right, guys, I'm ready to start tacking stuff up. But before I tack it up, I want to show you what I'm working with. I got a straight piece and I got 2 slices of pie. With the orientation of all this stuff, it should work out, or put the wastegate where I want. And also another note is I beveled all of this pipe. I want to make sure that when I weld this stuff, I want to get a good deep weld to make sure that I get full penetration. And then of course, you know, we'll throw argon on this inside as well. So let me go ahead and get this orientated up and we'll tack it into place. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I am pretty satisfied with that. But we're taking this out, and next, probably can go ahead and purge this and weld it up. If we don't do that, then we will work on the second portion of the downpipe, which is the screamer pipe to the downpipe. Now that we got the pipe from the manifold that goes to the flange for the wastegate, since I'm confident that I want the down tube to look basically like that, I'm gonna go ahead and weld this up also. Turn it up. All right, so we got all of the pies welded completely all the way around. I forgot that I didn't weld the flange to this actual spool piece or to the bellow. So I did that all the way around. We're letting it cool off at the moment. So now the last portion or the last two pieces of the puzzle are, we need to connect that portion of the screamer pipe to the downpipe down below. All right, Speedhouse Garage. I got everything off of the 2J. Now I got it set up here so that I can get better access to making the pipe that goes in between the downpipe and the exit on the wastegate. I got an idea of how I want to go about making this shape. It is going to be a odd looking pie. I probably should have took that last little slither off and cut it there. I may still actually do that. Yeah, I think I actually might do that. I think I might take this off, put this in the bandsaw, cut this direction, face it one more time, and then all we gotta do is make a piece in between here. I was having issues with the torch, so that didn't quite work out the way I wanted. But for the most part, everything is solid. Goes up to this Tial 44, and then again, we got the bellow, and then we're gonna run this right back into the downpipe. Actually, better yet, what I'm gonna do is take that measurement from here, make it the same distance for here, and I think I wanna cut it. I'm gonna cut it where at least I get the same distance all the way across. That way, I don't have to cut this off completely.
Beats and Bros Productions.
And look at that piece I just coked out. Look how that fit up. I mean, it's got a little small gap at the bottom that you barely can see because my hand blocking the light. And then of course, if I put that clamp on there and tighten that thing down, man, that is good, boy. And that was something I decided to try out. I was gonna use toothpicks. I could have used something like the welding wire cut up in a bunch of little pieces and then taped it around this wastegate outlet to get my shape, and then trace it out and of course cut it. Would have did a little bit better cutting it if I had a smaller wheel. It's good to have like a worn out wheel laying around just so that you can make cuts at an angle like that. But man, I'm happy with this. So we're gonna clean this up, polish it up, and then I think we're gonna fully weld this thing up. Well, not fully weld it, I take that back. We do got to tack it and then drill the hole out on the inside and then weld it. So I have 1 3/4 inch, and that look like that's gonna be perfect enough to drill out the hole, and then I can go back with the rest of the way of the carbide bit. All right, I'm working on tacking this piece up. One thing to maybe take note, I made my first tack here, and then when I made my tack here, it ended up pulling the piece on this side. So I got it clamped down to hopefully, well, it already has closed up that gap. Tack that side, release the clamp, tack the last side, and then we'll double fit our pipe up. And the next thing we're gonna do is open up that hole. Today is the next day. I had to take a break, but right back on merging the Wastegate screamer pipe up to the downpipe. I had to cut out one of the pies. I end up trying to get these two to mate up perfectly, and with me going on the belt sander too many times, I took off too much material, so I had to kind of start from scratch. Not really start from scratch, but starting at the end of scratch. And so when I came back, I was left with that gap. I held it into place like so. I used one of these digital calipers. I scribed both sides 180 degrees, and I ended up cutting it out, and this is what I came up with. I've already polished it. No, that's the wrong piece. Here's the right piece. I've already polished it with my little buffing wheel that I got from Harbor Freight on the drill. It's cleaned up with acetone. But before we tack all this stuff up, we need to open up this hole right here. So we're gonna get some lubricant, and we're gonna use 1 3/4 inch to cut the hole out. And then the rest of it, we're gonna clean out with a carbide bit. Let's start with a smaller drill bit before we go to the hole saw. To make these last 2 welds, I'm gonna purge it. So the way I got my purge set up is I got a dual purge regulator. One side goes to the torch, the other side, basically I adjust this knob and it bleeds through this hose. And I wrap the hose from the bottom of the downpipe come through. And what I plan on doing is wrapping around a bunch of foil and then shoving it back down to like this portion here. Hopefully to pack in real good. I can glance at it from the back side. And then what we'll do is put tape on this side, punch a few holes, let it purge for a minute, and then we'll make our 2 welds. See if I can pack some more foil around to give it a tighter daggone fit. This ain't working. All right, fam, as you can tell, we have the downpipe finish. We have the screamer pipe to the downpipe recirculated. We have our turbo manifold brace from the header flange to the turbo flange. And then the final piece of the puzzle, we got our primary tube to the wastegate all finished up. The last thing that we got to do now is just go ahead and install it. I'm not gonna bore you with it. I may throw a clip at the end of it installed, but guess what? The fabrication is not over. Now we get to transition over to aluminum. So stick around for the next episode. I appreciate all the love, the support, the comments, the suggestions. And hey, as long as I enjoy this stuff, I'm gonna continue to bring you content. See you on the next episode. If I can give you any advice on installing this Rev 9 manifold. Start with the bottom bolts, get all of them barely started. I'm talking about medium thread. And yeah, once you get all them started in the tops, it'll be just fine. Yeah, you know I couldn't daggone end this off with the finished product. Hey, your boy is satisfied. I think the symmetry, I think that it looks symmetrical. I think it looks tasteful. And I know one thing, I'm proud of it. I'm definitely proud of it. All right, as you can tell, we are done fabricating the turbo manifold, the downpipe, and the screamer pipe, and the wastegate primary piping. So now that portion is complete. The next segment is gonna be intercooler piping. Just to give you a taste into the future, we got a cast elbow that we're gonna need to weld onto this because we're limited on space. We need to open that hole up. And then the turbo kit that we got that came with the intercooler piping kit, I don't know what was going on, but the piping ain't gonna work on this side, so I'm gonna have to do some fabricating. But you're gonna have to wait till the next episode to see that. So I'll see you then.
Like I've been so drunk, sipping off of your love, kissing legs and shoulders.